Exploring Stories SCP-009 Red Ice. SCP-009, prior to recovery, based off its name, and as you can see on the screen here, is an abundance of red ice. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Object is to be contained within a sealed storage tank of heat-resistant alloy with dimensions not less than 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters. Under no circumstances should SCP-009 be exposed to temperatures in excess of 0 degrees Celsius when not undergoing testing. No water-based solutions shall be allowed within 30 meters of the object containment area. Object's chamber is to be fitted with temperature sensors which must be monitored at all times, and is to be kept refrigerated by no fewer than 3 redundant cooling units. Any malfunctions of sensors or of coolant systems is to be reported and repaired immediately. If at any time the temperature in the containment area climbs above -5 degrees Celsius, the chamber is to be locked down and flooded with a coolant until the temperatures return to safe levels, roughly -30 degrees Celsius to -25 degrees Celsius. It is a must that the containment area is to be kept in total vacuum during testing, and that all personnel interacting with SCP-009 must wear full environmental protection gear. Following testing, all equipment, personnel, and any other materials must undergo dehydration procedures and be quarantined for no less than 12 hours. Any moistures found displaying properties of SCP-009 is to be quarantined and added to the containment area as soon as possible. Living organisms found to be contaminated with SCP-009 are to be terminated by chemical dissection, and extracted molecules of SCP-009 added to the containment area. Okay, so now we have the information of what not to do, what to do, and where it likes to live, and where we need to keep it safe. But what is it? What does it do? Let's get right into it. Description: SCP-009 is approximately blank liters of a substance which superficially resembles distilled water, except with a distinct bright red hue. This red hue is discernible in all phases and serves as the most expedient method of which identifying contaminated matter before its anomalous properties manifest. It is to be noted, in contrast to mundane water, SCP-009 assumes a liquid phase at temperatures between -100 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Celsius. A solid state above those temperatures exists. At temperatures below -100 degrees Celsius, SCP-009 vaporizes into a gaseous phase similar to steam. Explanations of the atomic structure of SCP-009 have proved inconclusive. The substance appears to be identical to normal water, with the exception of blank, in contrast to standard laws of enthalpy. Dr. Redacted, Site Redacted, resident expert on xenospatial physics, suggests that SCP-009 may originate in a universe with alternate physical laws. This theory would explain why SCP-009 turns into steam at any temperatures below -100 degrees Celsius, remains a liquid between -100 and 0 degrees, and turns into a solid when it exceeds above 0 degrees Celsius. The most hazardous property of SCP-009, however, is its ability to contaminate normal H2O. When in contact with any aqueous solution, SCP-009 will, through unknown mechanisms, transfer its anomalous properties to other objects and creatures. Testing has shown it's capable of assimilating with ice, steam, tea, juice, seawater, blood, and data expunged. The time it takes for this process to occur varies depending on temperature, and the exact chemical composition of affected matter has been observed to take between 3 minutes and blank hours. So far, the description has let us know that this SCP can turn into steam at -100 degrees Celsius, turn into a solid at any temperatures above 0 degrees, and that it takes hold of anything that contains H2O, tea, coffee, humans, any living life. This is definitely a problem. But knowing the SCP universe, we're going to have to study it a little bit more to determine what its most malicious properties are. And as is, we're going to throw our best friends at them. D-Class. Experiments on D-Class personnel have illustrated the process of conversion by the substance, which has been found to follow a consistent pattern. 1. Initial exposure. Subject is exposed to SCP-009, and it begins to simulate any moisture present on the exposed surface. Creatures in this stage do not commonly notice any unusual symptoms except for a slight warming sensation. Step 2. Surface conversion. Frost begins to form on the exposed area as the heat produced by the subject and SCP-009 itself raises its temperature above 0 degrees Celsius. The stage can take anywhere from 1 minute to blank hours, during which time the subject begins to feel blank crystals from the epidermis. Step 3. Deep tissue conversion. Exponential increase in temperature of SCP-009 causes a runaway reaction throughout the subject's body, resulting in redacted. Actual blood loss is minimal due to ice crystals, redacted, allowing subjects to remain alive and conscious for up to blank hours. Step 4. Data expunged. Testing on D-Class personnel was discontinued as of 04/23/2000 and blank. Awesome. So we got ice that takes over somebody's body and doesn't let them die while it's doing it, and they can feel it the whole time. And you know it's bad when the SCP Foundation decides that it's no longer going to be testing D-Class personnel on it. The only reason that shocks me is because the SCP Foundation is normally willing to waste thousands of D-Class for a single piece of information, so who knows why they would have decided to stop it. Anyway. Circumstances of retrieval. Subject was found in blank, Alaska on 11/05/1900 and redacted. The Foundation became involved after reports were obtained from the native redacted tribe who came across the mangled bodies of a team of seal hunters who had apparently been shipwrecked redacted kilometers from their village. All victims were found encased in red ice. Cause of death recorded as internal bleeding. Through closer examination found redacted. It is surmised that the low ambient temperatures in the area retarded the freezing process. This prolonged the time to total conversion by blank hours and allowed the victims to remain conscious until data expunged. Origin of SCP-009 is currently unknown. Investigation into similar events of SCP materials in the area is ongoing. Evidence at the scene suggests redacted, possibly involving another SCP blank. Addendum 12/06/19 redacted. After repeated inquiries, it should be noted that the portion of coastline upon which the initial victims were found was barren rock, approximately blank redacted meters from the seashore, and was sufficiently dry and cold to prevent significant contamination of the surrounding area. Had the site been closer to the water, there is little doubt an extinction level event would have ensued. Consideration of upgrading SCP-009 to Keter class is under review. This gets us to the end of our article, with one last entry from Memo from 05 Command, dated 01/09/2000 and redacted. We've decided to keep this thing Euclid for now. We understand the concerns raised, but as long as you keep the power on and nobody goes near its containment area, there shouldn't be a problem. That's why we're keeping it in site blank after all. As for the cold fusion research, we're putting a pin in that for now. Frankly, we don't have the budget for another snafu like site blank. The salvage team still hasn't even found Dr. Blank redacted team. So, we've reached the end of this article. SCP-009 seems to be a red type of ice that can assimilate and take over any life that it touches that contains the molecule H2O. as long as it remains between -100 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Celsius and away and completely dry from any type of water, we shouldn't have a problem. But what happens if Site Blank ends up having a power outage? What happens if humanity ends up facing an extinction event and it gets released onto the planet? Would the rest of life be eliminated as well? I definitely think this is something that the SCP Foundation should be looking into neutralizing, but as we've learned with the SCP Foundation, they're not here to destroy SCPs, they're here to secure, contain, and protect them. If you want to support my channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and a like if you'd like. Other than that, thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your night.